Hare Krishna. Hmm. Okay. Can someone let me know if you can hear me?
Hare Krishna
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरिः ओं श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, continuing from 33. सोमो भूद्ब्रह्मणो मे ब्रह्मणोऽंशेन दत्तो विष्णोस्तु योगवित् दूर्वासः सङ्कर्षयांशो निबोधाङ्गीरसः प्रजाः. Thereafter, from the partial representation of Brahma, the moon god was born of them. From the partial representation of Vishnu, the great mystic Dattatreya was born. And from the partial representation of Shankara, Lord Shiva, Durvasa was born. Now you may hear from me of the many sons of Angira. Shraddhatva Angirasah Patni चतर्षो सूत कन्यकाः सिनीवाली कुहुराका चतुर्थी अनुमतिस्तता. Angira's wife, Shraddha, gave birth to four daughters named Siniwali, Kuhu, Raka, and Anumati. तत्पुत्रावपरस्तां ख्यातौ स्वरोच्चिषेऽन्तरे उतत्यो भगवान् साक्षात् ब्रह्मिष्टस्त बृहस्पतिः. Besides these four daughters, she also gave another two sons. She also had another two sons. One of them was known as Utatya, and the other was the learned scholar Brihaspati. पुलत्स्यो जनयत्पत्न्याम् अगत्स्यं च हविर्भुवि सोऽन्यजन्मनि दह्राग्निर्विश्रवाश्च महातपाः. Pulasya begot in his wife Havirbu one son of the name Agastya, who in his next birth became Dahragni. Besides him, Pulasya begot another very great and saintly son, whose name was Vishrava. तस्य यक्षपतिर्देवः कुबेरस्त्व इडविडा सुता रावणः कुम्भकर्णश्च तथान्यस्यां विभीषणः. Vishrava had two wives. The first wife was Idavida, from whom Kubera, the master of all yakshas, was born, and the next wife was named Kesini, from whom three sons were born, uh, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana. पुलहस्य गतिर्भार्या त्रीन् असूत सती सुतान् कर्मश्रेष्ठं वरीयांशं सहिष्णुं च महामते. Gati, the wife of the sage Pulaha, gave birth to three sons named Karmashreshta, Variyan, and Sahishnu, and all of them were great sages. क्रतोरपि क्रिया भार्या वालकील्यान् असूयत ऋषीन् षष्टिसहस्राणि ज्वलतो ब्रह्मतेजसा. Kratu's wife, Kriya, gave birth to 60,000 great sages named Valakilya, All these sages were greatly advanced in spiritual knowledge, and their bodies were illuminated by such knowledge. ऊर्जायां जङ्गिरे पुत्र वसिष्ठस्य परन्तप चित्रकेतुप्रदानास्ते सप्तब्रह्मर्षयो मलाः. The great sage Vashishta begot in his wife Urja, sometimes called Anuradha, seven spotlessly great sages headed by the sage named Chitraketu. चित्रकेतो सुरोचिश्च विरजामित्र एव च उल्बणो विशुभ्रद्यानो द्युमान् शक्ति आदयो परे. The names of these seven sages are as follows: Chitraketu, Surochi, Viraja, Mitra, Ulbana, Vasubhradyana, and Dyuman. Some other very competent sons were born from Vashishta's other wife. चित्तित्वा अथर्वणः पत्नी लेभे पुत्रं धृतव्रतं दध्यं चम् अश्वशिरसं भृगोर्वंशं निबोधमये. Chitti, wife of the sage Atharva, gave birth to a son named Ashvashira by accepting a great vow called Dadyancha. Dadyancha. Now you may hear from me about the descendants of the sage Bhrigu. भृगुर्ख्यात्यां महाभागः पत्न्यां पुत्रान् अजीजयनत् धारणं च विधातारं श्रियं च भगवत्पराम्. The sage Bhrigu was highly fortunate. In his wife known as Khyati, he begot two sons named Data and Vidhata, and one daughter named Shri, who was very much devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. आयतिं नियतिं चैव सुते मेरुस्तयोरदात् ताभ्यां तयोरभवतां मृकण्डः प्राण एव च. The sage Meru had two daughters named Ayati and Niyati, whom he gave in charity to Data and Vidhata. Ayati and Niyati gave birth to two sons, Mrikanda and Prana. मार्कण्डेयो मृकण्डस्य प्राणाद् वेदशिरा मुनिः कविश्च भार्गवो यस्य भगवान् उशना सुत. From Mrikanda, Markandeya Muni was born, and from Prana, the sage Vedashira, whose son was Ushana Sukracharya, also known as Kavi. Thus, Kavi also belonged to the descendants of Bhrigu dynasty. ते एते मुनयः क्षत्तर्लोकान् सर्गैरभावयन् एष कर्दम दौहित्र सन्तानः कथितः तव शृण्वतः श्रद्धदानस्य श्रद्धया पापाहरः परः प्रसूतिं मानवीं दक्ष उपयेमे हि अजात्मजः. My dear Vidura, the population of the universe was thus increased by the descendants of these sages and the daughters of Kardama. Anyone who hears the descriptions of this dynasty with faith will be relieved from all sinful reactions. Another of Manu's daughters, known as Prasuti, married the son of Brahma named Daksha. तस्यां ससर्ज दुहित्राः षोडशामललोचनाः त्रयोदशादात् धर्माय तथैकाम् अग्नये विभुः. Daksha begot 16 very beautiful daughters with lotus-like eyes in his wife Prasuti. Of these 16 daughters, 13 were given in marriage to Dharma, and one daughter was given to Agni. पितृभ्य एकां युक्तेभ्यो भव एकां भवः चिदे श्रद्धा मैत्री दया शान्ति तुष्टिः पुष्टिः क्रियोन्मतिः बुद्धिर्मेधा तितिक्षा ह्रीर्मूर्तिर्धर्मस्य पत्न्यः श्रद्धासूत शुभं मैत्री प्रसादम् अभयं दया शान्ति सुखं शान्तिः सुखं मुदं तुष्टिः स्मयं पुष्टिर् असूयता योगं क्रियोन्नतिर्दर्पं अर्थं बुद्धिर् असूयता मेधा स्मृति तितिक्षा तु क्षेमं ह्रियः प्रश्रयं सुतं मूर्तिः सर्वगुणोत्पत्तिर् नरनारायणावृषि. One of the remaining daughters, one of the remaining two daughters, was given in charity to the Pitraloka, where she resides very amicably, and the other was given to Lord Shiva, who is the deliverer of sinful persons from material entanglement. The names of the 13 daughters of Daksha who were given to Dharma are Shraddha, Maitri, Daya, Shanti, Tushti, Pushti, Kriya, Unnati, Buddhi, Medha, Titiksha, Hrir, and Murti. These 13 daughters produced the following sons. Shraddha gave birth to Shubha, Maitri produced Prasada, Daya gave birth to Abhaya, Shanti gave birth to Sukha, Tushti gave birth to Muda, Pushti gave birth to Smaya, Kriya gave birth to Yoga, Unnati gave birth to Darpa, Buddhi gave birth to Artha, Medha gave birth to Smriti, Titiksha gave birth to Kshema, and Hri gave birth to Prashraya. Murti, a reservoir of all respectable qualities, gave birth to Sri Nara Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yayorjanmani ado vishvam abhyanandat sunirvritam manamshi kakubo vataha praseduhu sarito drayaha. On the occasion of the appearance of Naranarayan, the entire world was full of joy. Everyone's mind became tranquil, and thus in all directions the air, the rivers, and the mountains became pleasant. दिव्यावाद्यन्त दिव्य अवाद्यन्त तूर्यानि पेतुः कुसुम वृत्स्तयः मुनयस्तुष्टु वुस्तुष्टा जगुर्गन्धर्वकिन्नरा नृत्यन्ति स्म स्त्रियो देव्या आसीत् परममङ्गलं देवा ब्रह्मादयः सर्वे अभिष्टवैः. In the heavenly planets, bands began to play and they showered flowers from the sky. The pacified sages chanted Vedic mantras, Vedic prayers. The denizens of heaven, known as the Gandharvas and Kinnaras, sang. The beautiful damsels of heavenly planets danced, and in this way, at the time of appearance of Naranarayan, all signs of good fortune were visible. Just at that time, great demigods like Brahma also offered their respectful prayers. देवः देवा उवाच यो मायया विरचितं निजयात्मनीदं खे रूपभेद इव तत्प्रतिचक्षणाय एतेन धर्मसदने ऋषिमूर्तिनाद्य प्रादुष्कराकर प्रादुश्चकार पुरुषाय नमः परस्मै. The demigod said, let me offer our respectful obeisances unto the personal, transcendental personality of Godhead, who created as his external energy this cosmic manifestation, which is situated in him as the air and clouds are situated in space, and who has now appeared in the form of Naranarayana Rishi in the house of Dharma. सोऽयं स्थितिव्यतिकरोपशमाय सृष्टान् सत्त्वेन नः सुरगणान् अनुमेय तत्त्वाः दृश्याद् अदभ्र करुणेन विलोकनेन यच्छ्रीनिकेतम् अमलं क्षिपतारविन्दं क्षिपत arabindam. Let that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is understood by truly authorized Vedic literature and who has created peace and prosperity to destroy all calamities of the created world, be kind enough to bestow his glance upon the demigods. His merciful glance can supersede the beauty of the spotless lotus flower, which is the home of the goddess of fortune. एवं सुरगणे तात भगवन्ताव अभिष्टुतौ लब्ध लब्धावलोकैर्ययतुर् अर्चितौ गन्धमादनम्. Maitreya said, O Vidura, thus the demigods worshipped with prayers the Supreme Personality of Godhead appearing as a sage, Nara Narayana. The Lord glanced upon them with mercy and then departed for Gandhamadana hill. ताविमौ वै भगवतो हरेरंशाव इह गतौ Bharavyaya cha bhuvaha Krishno yadu kurudvaho. That Naranarayan Rishi, who is a partial expansion of Krishna, has now appeared in the dynasty of Yadu and Kuru in the form of Krishna and Arjuna, respectively, to mitigate the burden of the world. Swahabhimaninaschanger Atmajam Trin Ajijanat Pavakam Pavamamam Cha Suchim Cha Hutabhojanam. The predominating deity of fire begot in his wife Swaha three children named Pavaka, Pavamana, and Suchi, who exist by eating the oblations offered to the fire of sacrifice. तेभ्योऽग्नयः समभवन् चत्वारिंशश्च पञ्च च त एवैकोन पञ्चाशत् साकं पितृपितामहै. From those three sons, another 45 descendants were generated, who are also fire gods. The total number of fire gods is therefore 49, including the fathers and the grandfather. वैतानिके कर्मणि यन्नाना नामभिर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः आग्नेय इष्टयो यज्ञे निरूप्यन्ते अग्नयस्तुते. These 49 fire gods are the beneficiaries of oblations offered in the Vedic sacrificial fire by the impersonalist Brahmanas. अग्निष्टा अग्निस्वात्ता बर्हिषदः सौम्या पितरः आज्यपाः साग्नयो अनग्नयस्तेषां पत्नी दाक्षायणी स्वदा. The Agniswata, the Barhishadas, the Saumyas, the Ajyapas are the Pitas. They are either Sagnika or Niragnika. The wife of all these Pitas is Swada, who is the daughter of King Daksha. तेभ्यो ददारकन्ये द्वे वयुनां दारिणीं स्वदा उभे ते ब्रह्मवादिनौ ज्ञानविज्ञानपारगे. Swada, who was offered to Pitas, begot two daughters named Vayuna and Dharini, both of whom were impersonalist and were expert in transcendental and Vedic knowledge. भवस्य पत्नी तुत्सती भवं देवम् अनुव्रता आत्मनः सदृशं पुत्रं न लेभे गुणशीलतः. The 16th daughter, whose name was Sati, was the wife of Lord Shiva. She could not produce a child, although she always faithfully engaged in the service of her husband. पितरप्रतिरूपे स्वे भवायानागसेरुषा अप्रौढैवात्मनात्मानम् अजहाद yoga samyuta. The reason is that Sati's father Daksha used to rebuke Lord Shiva in spite of Shiva's faultlessness. Consequently, before attaining a mature age, Sati gave up her body by dint of her yogic mystic power. Thus ends this chapter 1 from the fourth canto entitled Genealogical Table of the Daughters of Manu. Hare Krishna. Okay. Let me refer. So yesterday we were having a question, right? If you remember, Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, you were asking about Dattatreya, was he Shakti Avashavatar? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to share this. I looked up and in this fourth canto, first chapter, 15th verse, where we were just discussing, there is Prabhupada who has given further details. Yeah, here he is saying, in this verse we find the word Atma Isha Brahma Sambhavan. Atma means super soul. This is clear. Or Vishnu. Isha means Shiva. And Brahma Sambhavan is Lord Brahma. Here means there we can see that they have come from them. But what kind of avatar or what kind of expansion is mentioned further? It is said the three sons born of Anasuya were both were born as partial representations. They're not said partial incarnation, the representations of the three demigods. Just like you may have a servant, yeah. So you have appointed a servant to do your work. So whenever I have a service, I will what will I do? Hmm? I will approach your servant because he is your representative. Or is you and your representative same? No. But you and your representative are related, yeah, because you have given a task. How to understand that is given further. And in fact, I was hearing to His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Maharaj, sorry, Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, who gave a class in Melbourne on the same verse and quoting what Prabhupada was mentioning. He said, he is, therefore, he is described here. Atma is not in the category of the demigods or living entities because he is Vishnu. So, here, when we say Atma Isha Brahma Sambhavan, that Atma is in fact Vishnu. But what level or what kind of expansion is mentioned here is he is described as Vibhinnamsha Bhutanam. Vibhinna. Svaamsha, yeah, is the Lord's own, yeah, incarnation, which we see as in various Leela avatars, yeah, as Rama, Narsimha, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and Maharaj also says what does these different kinds of avatars signify is Lord comes in different forms to exhibit different potencies or powers. In the case of Kapila Muni, he has come and he has exhibited the knowledge potency, yeah, where he was imparting knowledge. And in fact, in the form of Dattatreya, also he does that. And here we can see what is in what form, what capacity is Lord Vishnu appearing or representing. Or Dattatreya is representing. Therefore, he is called Vibhinnamsha. And what is Vibhinnamsha is mentioned further later. One second. Then comes, yeah, here we can see another meaning of the word Atma may be accepted in this way. What is that? The principle who is the super soul is in every Atma. Hmm? Or one may say the soul of everyone became manifested as Dattatreya, because the word amsha is part and parcel is used here. That's how we understand. And the other references, of course, here we can see the Varaha Purana. I think in another purport there is a mention of Brahmanda Purana. So we can see where is that? Yeah. The answer is that the manifestations of Vishnu and those of ordinary living entities are certainly all part and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and no one is equal to him. But among the part and parcels, there are different categories. What is these categories? One is Swamsha and other one is Vibhinnamsha. Vibhinnamsha parts are called Jivas, and Swamsha parts are the Vishnu category or Vishnu Tattva. In the Jiva category, again, now we may say, oh, is Dattatreya Jivatma? Here we can see yes, but what level it is? Again, in Jiva category, there are also gradations, different levels, different grades. That is explained in Vishnu Puran, where it is clearly stated that the individual part and parcels of the Supreme Lord are subject to be covered by the external energy, Maya. Such individual part and parcel hmm, who can travel to any part of Lord's creation are called Sarvagata and are suffering the pangs of material existence. They are proportionately free from the covering of ignorance under the material existence according to different levels of work. So Maharaj explains because a jiva is still, we cannot simply say everyone is same because jiva is under the influence of three modes of material nature, and the degree to which one is freed from that, to that degree a jiva is a different, comes to a different gradation. Yeah, as we know, like there is a Shudra, for example, then there is also then there is Brahmana, then there is a Vaishnava, so like that. For example, the sufferings of jivas situated in the mode of goodness are less than those of jivas situated in the mode of ignorance. Pure Krishna consciousness, however, is the bright birthright of all living entities. Uh, and that is clear. And now we go further because we also want to cover other aspects. I'll go quickly here. Um, Here, yes, the Vishnu Tattva has, yeah, this is the gradation. If we talk within the Vishnu Tattva, you see, hmm, Vishnu Swamsha expansions of the Supreme Lord in different Vishnu forms are like lamp. This is example that Prabhupada often gives. How to understand, yeah, is like a lamp. Lord Shiva is also a lamp, and the supreme candle power of or the 100% light is Krishna, which means yes, definitely, if we want to light the candles that are in the room, we need that fire. Yeah, which means there is a one master candle which is actually lighting up all other candles. In the end, what is happening? The source is this, but in the end, all the candles also give light. Hmm? The Vishnu Tattva has 94%, Shiva Tattva has 84%, uh, Lord Brahma has 78%, and the living entities are also like Brahma, but in conditioned state, their power is still more dim. Uh, Depending on how big is the wick, accordingly the power is shown, right? There are gradations of Brahman, and no one can deny this fact. Therefore, the word Atmesha Brahma Sambhavan indicate that Dattatreya was directly part and parcel of Vishnu, whereas Durvasa and Soma were part and parcel of Lord Shiva and Brahma. Yeah. And if we want to know, then further glories of Dattatreya is mentioned in the 11th canto as part of Uddhava Gita. Yeah, Lord Krishna, when he was about to leave, wind up the whole Leelas on the Bhaumya Vrindavan. At that time, Uddhava goes and he also wanted to leave, but Krishna says, no, 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 you will be, yeah, you will be instrumental being part of the parampara of giving all this knowledge. And then Uddhava asked, can you give what is the cream and gist of it? And as part of that conversation, which is like 23 chapters, I think this is also, as I said, Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj is referring that, and I also sharing as it is. I will share the link later where there is a mention about Avadhuta. Uh, what are the teachings of Avadhuta? And it Prabhupada refers there that this Avadhuta is none other than Dattatreya. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, shall we go now to the other part? Of course, anyway, we are going to discuss about the whole family tree. Hmm? So we are referring to, mm, yeah, before we go to this, the Leela of Daksha Yajna, we are actually here from the verse 34, right? The genealogy of daughter of Devahuti is mentioned. Yeah, that goes further. And purport's point of view, we can see there is this interesting for us is to see that Kala married Marichi, the daughter of Devahuti, whose name is Kala, is married to Marichi. The sons are Kashyapa and Purnima. And Purnima gave birth to Viraja, Viswaga, and Devakulya. This is what we discussed yesterday. Now, when we come to 34th verse, 34th, Shraddha is married to Angira, who had four daughters and two sons, among which Brihaspati, the guru of Indra, or guru of heaven, is a son of Shraddha. And Havirbhu married Pulasya. Pulasya became, Pulasya and two sons. One is Agasya and second one is Vishravas. And from Vishravas, uh, when had two wives, the first wife is Idavida, uh, and son is Kuvera, who is the head of Yakshas, and Vishravas Keshini, second wife, had Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana. And in this context, I just with a quick. Okay, one second. You're still with me? I don't know. I pressed some button, I think.
Yeah, we can able to hear.
Okay. I'm just going to 36th, yeah, where we are talking about Pulasya. In that we are saying about Pulasya begot another very great and saintly son who is Vishravas. So this means Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana, who was born, uh, had a very, very elevated father. uh, but because there was a trap in a way that Vishrabhas was married to, here we see Keshini, um, and gave who is coming from a demon lineage, and that's why they have these three. And of course, Ravana becomes expert in all, yeah, being a Brahmana. He is expert in all the scriptures, but because of the influence of yeah, the desires of Keshini and also her brother, due to which they get spoiled and have all these material ambitions, higher ambitions. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it goes further. Then Kriya marries Krutu. Yeah. And there are these Valakilyas. I don't know if you have heard this name. Anyone heard this name? Valakilyas? No? Okay. So this comes, I think, also one as a reference in Bahubali movie. Yeah, I think picked up from here. So there are 60,000 great sages, and they all retired from family life as Vanaprasthas. And then Urja, who is none other than Arundhati, marries Vashishta. And then goes Khyati. I think you may have heard Khyati, who marries Bhrigu. Two sons are Data Vidhata, and one daughter is Sri. Data and Ayati marries, and then comes Mrikanda, and from Mrikanda comes Markandeya Muni. And Vidhata marries Niyati, comes Purana, Vedasira, Ushana. Ushana is Sukracharya, and in that way, this whole lineage goes further, and we go to after this is Devahuti lineage, and from 48th verse is the lineage of Daksha and Prasuti. Prasuti had 16, I mean Daksha had 16 daughters, of which 13 are given to Dharma, hmm? and Swaha is given to Agni, Swada is given to Pitras, who is that Agnisvatas, Barheshad, uh, and then Saumyas, uh, and Sati is given to Shiva. And then it comes to this point where uh, Naranarayan appears. When appearance of Naranarayan is such a jubilation because it's the incarnation of the Lord. And if I'm lucky, if I still have that page, I just made note whether he comes under Leela avatar or whether he comes under Guna avatar or Shaktyavesh avatar. Here we see on the appearance of Naranarayan Rishi, the entire world was joyful. Everyone's mind, the directions, air, rivers, everything, yeah, and the mountains became pleasant. And then they offered prayers. So in this way, we can see definitely uh, that Naranarayan Rishi, after that, their only purpose was, thus they worshipped Naranarayan Rishi, glanced upon the demigods, and they simply departed to Gandhamadhan to establish themselves in meditation, and they are still present there and they are still doing meditation. And in fact, it is said that Krishna and Arjuna, yeah, so are Nara is Arjuna and Narayan is Krishna. So this is also what is referred here. Thus, Narayan Rishi were present within Krishna and Arjuna and were accompanying Krishna and Arjuna to remove the burden of earth. It is not that Krishna and Arjuna were the plenary expansions of Naranarayan Rishi. Uh, this is the reference from Jiva Goswami's from what is it? Bhagavat Sandarbha. This is the reference. So there ends actually, and then we enter into Daksha pastime, Daksha Yajna from chapter 2. Did I miss something from my notes? Let me check. 1 second. No, as such, I think, yeah, it's a whole tree. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can actually say that much. Someone want to share something?
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Yes,
Yeah.
Guruji, thank you, Guruji, for this nice lineage narration. Prabhuji, there are some numbers like the three sons or 10 daughters that one understand, but in one shloka was 60,000
Mm-hmm.
daughters or sons, and so is it they are like higher planets? They don't give birth like normal the human being, like the children come by some mantra or something that 60,000 appear, or
Yeah.
they go no not through like human deliveries or like that.
Yeah. I mean, in this case of 60,000 Valakilyas, I don't know how, but there is also description when Khyati delivers, and you may have heard, yeah, on one side there is this Vinita, no, Vinata, yeah, who gives birth to the Garuda, yeah, or who becomes, I mean, not Garuda, but just the that. That creation, and then there is also his sister who gives birth to snakes. So I don't know if are we talking about something as plain as creation that we are talking at our level. Is it 9 months, is it 10 months, or is it one baby, 10 babies? I don't know. We are talking about some um, great process of creation, and yeah, being they are very highly elevated, they may have adopted some ways of how to bring, but I don't know. Yeah, but at least the science also validates that, especially when it comes to in this case of Gandhari, when she hits her own womb, right? When she get aborted, but then all the dhatu will be stored in different pots, and then there is a process through which 100 sons came. So there are some ways. Yeah, I think we may still we may say, hey, it's a test tube babies or whatever we call. They were also doing some ways. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we are talking about a creature coming from a human, yeah, how to understand that? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And maybe yeah, some Vedic at that time
Yeah, I
methodology.
think I think based on how the creation has to happen, I think accordingly they were engaged in that kind of process. That's what I think, yeah, rather than understood. Yeah, maybe it's more technical for then one has to check maybe with some others who are expert in this. Radha Vallabh Prabhu, I think, or I don't remember exact name. He has created a lot of videos how the creation came, what is Jambudvipa and etc. etc. You can search in the YouTube. Maybe there is also something, or you can ask this question. Maybe yeah, you can gather more details, more precise answer. At least yeah, I don't know.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Atri Muni did tapasya for many years to get the godlike sons.
Mm-hmm.
But Narayan Rishi, he came without any tapasya from parents, or it is the details is not much given probably.
That's not here, but there is another book in, I think it comes in Garuda Puran also. There is some, I mean, not too detailed because again, that is a sideline. Then you may go in internet and you can also read more about what happened to Naranarayan, and that comes in the context of Karna being cursed in the previous life. There was a demon. So much, I mean, I just read as of info for me at that time, but I don't remember. Yeah, but there is also so much to the explanation of Naranara and Rishi, what level of austerities they have done, what is the role that they have played, everything is also available. But yeah, I don't remember top of my head, but it's there. Yeah. One, if we want to know more, yeah, at least info is available.
Mhm. And Prabhuji, this Badrinath is same as
Yes.
Narnar.
Yeah. Yeah. There, I mean, we went to, is it Rupa? Naimisharanya, right? Where there we had this Narnara and Rishi doing the tapasya or
Yeah,
there is hiding
yeah, it's in Naimisharanya.
Naimisharanya. Mm. Yeah.
So Naimisharanya, but the Badrinath in these Himalayas, it is also the Narnarayan who
Yeah.
Badrinath.
They are doing tapasya there, it is said, and it is said that in Naimisharanya they did the yajna, so something. And of
Okay.
course, when we are talking about Gandhamadhan mountain, that is even different place. So yeah, yeah, being Lord, he can be present. Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mm.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this I just wanted to ask Prabhuji that for this chapter, while reading through, we get a brief introduction of so many great people
Hmm.
and the Leela. So, what should be the right mood to go through this chapter? Because it has a very nice Falastuti also. So, it is just the information, or it is an introduction, or it is
I
to
would
get.
say we can see just like when we talk about Virat Rupa, what is the purpose of knowing about his glories as the Mahapurusha Virat Rupa is to understand everything is related to the Lord. We understand every matter or material thing is connected to the spiritual supreme being. And here also we can see how it came, yeah. And of course, we can also see how the Surya Vamsha comes, how the Chandra Vamsha comes, and these lineages. That is the purpose that Sarga Visarga is there, and then Ishanukataya. Before we talk about Ishanukata, we also need to understand his creation, right? So here, I mean, what I see here is yeah, to know because we come across so many names, right? And it's nice to see how they are, who are their parents and what is the lineage and etc. to understand and also mm, again with a pinch of salt, it is still to be seen as we cannot just use our current way of family tree and say, hey, family tree should be like that. Yeah, but maybe there are, for example, 60,000 sons, or yeah, is one example. Or how come snakes can come, or eagles can come from humans, and these kind of things. Yeah, that shows that we are talking not about ordinary beings. So, and it's also possible when the Lord has engaged them in that, yeah, because they become the instrument in the plan of creation of the Lord Brahma, right? Mm.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So I would say that this helps only not to become atheistic, but sometimes people may think, oh, this is illogical, and then they may become more atheistic because they think atheistic way of seeing is more easy. But atheistic way of seeing Darwin theory is also foolish, isn't it? So just what we are able to conceive may not be the reality or truth. So because we know from the acharyas that Bhagavatam is Amala Purana, which has no spot, right? Due to which we can just take it. Yeah, and at least for me, I would just say my level is to understand only bit. Uh, and yeah, as and when some more we get to know, then we can only glorify the Lord because He has created such a wonderful, bewildering creation. Hmm? Overwhelmingly bewildering creation. Yeah, that means we glorify the Lord for that.
Yes, Prabhuji. This is good. And definitely, their names are in Bhagavatam, so they are
Yes.
great, great souls. Mm,
Hmm.
Something very extraordinary to them.
Yeah.
And yeah, Vidura did not need any explanation who are they as we needed. So that means he is quite aware of each one of them,
Yeah.
that who is marrying whom and who is giving birth to whom. So everybody, yeah.
And Maitreya Rishi is narrating this, right? So he is, yeah. I think we had 7 years time to read Bhagavatam. I think Parikshit Maharaj has 7 days. Still, he could cover so much, at least to give a holistic bird eye view, right? That's amazing.
Mhm. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's why I remember, I think it was Gauranga Prabhu or Gaur Gopal Prabhu or one of, or maybe some other Maharaj, he says that when we are in a Leela that we are reading, So the focus is mainly on the Sutradhar, yeah, the main person or the hero. Of course, even in a movie, we may see so many characters. We may see that character is very beautiful or doing very perfect action. In the end, we want to make sure that the hero finally attains what he wants, right? Or though they may be, what do you call this? Artists called who are just passing artist, or what do you call them? Yeah, like in a Bahubali movie, there will be thousands of people lined up. Yeah, we don't know who is who, right? And of course, if we want to know who is who, we can get other cards of all of them. But the main thing is about the main hero. But still, if there are so many soldiers or whosoever, then we understand, oh, how great is this guy? Oh, he has such a big army. Still, the point will be on the main hero, main person. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Then let's meet tomorrow. We begin again wonderful Leelas of the Lord Shiva in the form of Daksha Yajna. Yeah, please don't miss. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. गंधर्व श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna
sir.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.